Right, 6 April 2025, and today I'm going to be giving you yet another update on a Sunday. So this is an important first Sunday of the month of April, and it's going to be a very dramatic April, and I'm so happy that everyone is engaged. 99% of Zimbabweans are aware of what is going on, and we are heading towards one of the most important events, which is Independence Day. Next Friday is going to be a critical day. It is the Independence Day of Zimbabwe, and by that time, we should be having a new president in Zimbabwe, and Mnangagwa should be gone for good. So Mnangagwa is going to be gone. According to my sources, the plan is that by 18 April, we should have the inauguration of a new president, who is General Chiwenga. So General Chiwenga will be the new president of Zimbabwe by the 18th of April. And if there is a slight delay, by the 25th of April. However, the faction aligned to Mnangagwa is currently working very hard, and they are making a point of trying to remove Chiwenga before that date. So as I said to you, there are two initiatives underway. The plan to remove Mnangagwa, and then the plan to remove Chiwenga. So if everything goes well, according to the Mnangagwa side, Chiwenga should be out by next week, Friday. You should have no Chiwenga in the government. And if things go according to the Mnangagwa side, then to the Chiwenga side, according to the Chiwenga side, you should have no Mnangagwa by next week, which is the 18th of April. And these events are going to bring about a fight like you've never seen before. So the next 2 weeks are going to be very dramatic, and you're going to see me here so many times. I'll become like a member of your family. So now let's go to the headline. I want to start with War Veterans Blessed Geza. So War Veterans Blessed Geza, one of the most popular people right now in Zimbabwe. For the first time, with someone who has challenged Mnangagwa, the Mnangagwa family has created a network. The network is in media, in intelligence, in the army, and almost everywhere. So you cannot trust a person because of the network that Mnangagwa has built. And this includes people in entertainment, in the churches, some people that you don't even know. That is a structure of repression. That's how Mnangagwa has managed to stay in office for so long while doing so badly. However, at present, the challenge from Geza has resulted in Mnangagwa not trusting people around him. And according to my sources, Mnangagwa has created parallel structures, so parallel military, parallel intelligence, and the mercenaries that I showed you here a few weeks back. And this parallel structure has been working very hard ever since Geza came out, believing that he's working with the military of Zimbabwe and trying to identify his allies within the Zimbabwe military, within the Zimbabwe intelligence, and also within counterintelligence. So the biggest problem for Mnangagwa is that he believes that Geza is actually not working alone. He believes that Geza is working with a whole lot of people within the Zimbabwe formal structures. So to that end, Mnangagwa has created his own structures, which are carrying out investigations. And last week, according to my sources that I talked to, when Geza was just about to publish or to stream live ahead of the 31st or after the 31st, you saw that he had network problems on both occasions. So what my source says is that the guys in the parallel structures or parallel intelligence structures of Mnangagwa had an idea of where Geza was located. So their theory was that Geza had entered Zimbabwe and was no longer in South Africa. So that was their theory. And they believed that they knew where he was. So they did go to that specific area. And during the time when we were supposed to go live, they jammed the network over there. As you know, that they've got control over what happens within the network. The networks, the cell phone networks, and other data networks. So they went there and they jammed the network. And the intention was not to stop him from broadcasting, but was to confirm their theory of where Geza is currently located. So after they jammed the network, it is believed that they then concluded that Geza is in Zimbabwe and is being hosted by certain people, and they've got the names of those people. So that is what my source said about this whole situation. So what are the implications of Mnangagwa knowing the location of Geza? Firstly, they now know who is working with Geza. And secondly, they can pounce on him with using that parallel structure and not using the army or the police or the intelligence. So basically, you're having a situation where Mnangagwa, if he feels threatened enough by the situation, can now go after Geza and most likely either take him out or arrest him. So use this information that I'm giving you however you like. Both sides. If you want to use it, if you don't want to use it, it's up to you. But I'm sure that many people in intelligence, they know what happened. That an operation was launched during that live stream by Geza, because the first time he had uploaded the video ahead of time. And I believe that on this particular day, he was supposed to go live, and they did jam the network. Now, coming to South Africa, where they believe that Comrade Nyoka Mabunu was located in South Africa, I have got quite some credible information that the Zimbabwe intelligence, obviously they know where everyone is. Like right now, the Zimbabwe intelligence knows exactly where I'm sitting. I see them everywhere I go. Like mostly they would know that Gambakwe goes this place and goes that place. And I know that as long as they don't see me as a threat, everything is quite fine. However, for Mkoma Nyoka Mabunu, I know that Zimbabwe intelligence has been tracking him for more than 3 months. And at some point, I engaged with some of the intelligence guys, and I've shared this information with Mkoma Nyoka Mabunu Kuti. The intelligence guys of Zimbabwe are tracking him in South Africa. And some of them say they see him very regularly. I don't know what they mean when they say they see him, but they do see him. So the people that are dealing with security or surveillance at the moment are not people from the government. They are not intelligence. It's a parallel structure that has been set up by Mnangagwa, not to collect information, but in preparation for when things really go bad. So take, for example, Ndara Matiwela. Ndara Matiwela has gone under. He has left his home for more than 3 months. When he briefly appeared at home and issued a press statement on the impeachment of Mnangagwa. So many people don't know, but Ndara Matiwela was the first man to issue a statement on the impeachment of Mnangagwa. So you can go and check it out. After he issued a statement on the impeachment of Mnangagwa, state agents went to his home, but these are not state agents as Zimbabwe state agents. So Mnangagwa agents, the parallel structures, went to his home, and in one night, they burnt down the whole place in Bulawayo. So Ndara Matiwela's house was burnt down, and he had to flee. He had spent almost 3 months in Zambia, where Zimbabwe intelligence was tracking him. So if you think that you're in Zambia and you're not being tracked, that is the worst decision. Zambia has got the most number of Zimbabwe agents. Like literally when I stepped into Zambia, the first person I talked to was an agent. When I landed at the airport, one lady went all the way with me to my hotel and just sat with me in the lobby. Like I was talking on my phone and she was sitting right there. So if you're in Zambia, you're probably in the worst place right now. It's better to just leave that place and go to another place. And I do not know the implications of this heavy surveillance that is taking place on the guys who are organizing for the change that is going to come. In fact, the change is going to come. Mnangagwa is going to go. Mnangagwa is preparing to go. According to the people I talked to, Mnangagwa is preparing to go. He understands the gravity of the illness that is suffering, but the focus is not on him going. In the Mnangagwa group, their focus is on who comes up after Mnangagwa. So right now, their focus is not on Mnangagwa not going. Mnangagwa is already not operating at 100% in the government. He comes out once in a while, and when he comes out, it's a struggle. He's in a very difficult situation medically. I do not want to say a lot, but go and Google yesterday's pictures of Mnangagwa. You will see what has happened when he's in public, what happens, and also the medical issues that we don't even know. Besides the vascular dementia, Mnangagwa is suffering multiple issues, multiple medical issues, according to people I talk to, that are causing him to be unable to be in a public space for a long time. I've done a video almost 3 or 4 years ago when Mnangagwa was at the peak of his illness during a ZBC interview. It seems like that problem has returned that he was suffering at the time. That is 4 years ago. So imagine now what is happening. It must be crazy. But Mnangagwa doesn't want to leave Chiwenga in office. So very important and key. Mnangagwa doesn't want Chiwenga to be in office. He believes that Chiwenga is going to move against his group. So people like Wikino, people like Kudata Gure, Scott Sapukanya, those are just the people who work very closely with Mnangagwa to protect his finances. However, there is a whole bunch of people that are around Mnangagwa. We're talking here of the whole clan, the Shumba clan. There are hundreds and hundreds of people who are beneficiaries of the Mnangagwa system. If Mnangagwa was to go, these people would suffer greatly. And they believe that there is a tribal cabal that is going to go up against them, and they're going to lose a lot. And most of them believe that they'll end up in jail. So they will not allow someone else to take over. So for General Chiwenga to take over, it will be something that needs careful planning. He's going up against a machine, and he needs to be ruthless. So if you're going to go up against Mnangagwa, you need to be ruthless. He needs to be willing to crush the machine. He needs to be willing to move before they move. Because if he doesn't move, they're going to move. And he's going to lose. So that is what is at present. And if you're in South Africa, you should know that multiple agents have been deployed within the past week. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of agents within Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Pietermaritzburg, Polokwane, all those areas. They've deployed multiple agents to monitor here, South Africa. And they also have their mercenaries based here. And most of the surveillance taking place is very sophisticated. So you're probably going to receive a blank email in your mailbox and you think there's nothing. You're going to see people just walking around at a mall. They will stand at a mall for the whole day, for a week until you appear. And there's no way out. So just be careful and know that at the moment, these 2 weeks are going to be critical. You are not going to be careful enough and do not expose yourself to one other. They are very, very dangerous, but they are not invincible. So let me explain to you how weak and vulnerable Mnangagwa is. Mnangagwa is very weak and vulnerable because within the actual formal structures of government, Mnangagwa has lost support. It is believed that over 60% of the people in government now support Chiwenga. So I'm talking about security services. Over 60% now support Chiwenga. I'm talking about intelligence, counterintelligence, army, air force. Over 60% of the people now support Chiwenga. So whatever Mnangagwa does, formally he's not going to be able to do anything. And he's aware. So the only way to move would be to take out Chiwenga. And that is where they are right now. They are trying to think of how they can take out Chiwenga. There is a group that is working right now on an impeachment of Chiwenga. So they want to remove Chiwenga instead of, or to counter what is happening with Mnangagwa. And they're going to see that because that's a public activity. It's going to happen in public. However, Chiwenga has gained so much traction, and it's almost automatic that he's going to take over if he's allowed to. So let me recap this because it's very important. I want to summarize what I've said here. I've said within the past 2 weeks, Mnangagwa is set out and his parallel structures have been out, trying to identify where exactly Geza is located. It is believed that at first they thought he was in South Africa. So they did launch an operation in South Africa to find him. And then after the 31st of March protest, they had intelligence that he was located in Zimbabwe. And they launched an operation so that they can locate him. So they went to certain places and turned off the network or jammed the network during the time when you're supposed to go live. And they believe that they've now at least triangulated him to a certain area and to certain people who are in Zimbabwe. So they believe that Geza is now back in Zimbabwe and is being hosted by some known people. So they do have that intelligence. And intelligence collection has intensified in South Africa, in Zambia, especially among the people that are believed to be organizing. And I can assure you that in any personally, I've seen them. If you're going to go into a mall, like I said to you, they're going to stand there for a day or 2 or 3 or 4 days, just waiting for you to appear. And then they will know who your moon, Africa, is over there. And then they will take it from there. So most of us, we actually not worried. Like myself, I'm not worried because this is a constant thing for me. But for the guys who are actually organizing, it's important for you to know and to be aware of the situation, because it's going to get very dirty within the next 2 weeks. The removal of Mnangagwa is almost certain. Without a doubt, by the 18th, you're going to see Mnangagwa removed. But before that, you're going to see a very hard move on Chiwenga. I do not know how they're going to do it, but they're going to make a very hard move, believing that if they remove the top, they don't have to worry about the body. Because Mnangagwa believes that he is not fully in charge of the security structures, and the person in charge of this parallel structure is Sean Mnangagwa, according to what I've heard, and also is confirmed by Geza. And Geza's intelligence, when he's pulled out of the protest, had been that there are 3 locations which were supposed to be bombed, and this was going to cause massive bloodshed. And unfortunately, I can't name the locations now. But anyway, I'm now talking longer than Makandiwa. Those who know, they know. So I've said it already. Kana usina kuzwisisa problem yako. Go and ask the people that know what I mean when I say I'm now talking longer than Makandiwa. And it's totally connected to what I was just saying. So now let's go to other stories. I want to quickly run through some stories that are taking place. Like I said, massive problem developing right now. There is no way back from what has started. It's only going to go one way. And it is the end of what you know. So what you know now, in 2 weeks, is going to be very different. And pray for peace. Pray for peace. Because it's just about to get extremely difficult. The people you're dealing with are gorillas. So don't play with Geza. Geza is one of the most trained people, and Geza can move. You see him, he can move. And he is one of the most bravest people that you've ever seen. There is no person on this earth who can challenge Mnangagwa without being extremely brave, because Mnangagwa has been running this machine for decades. I'm talking here of almost 4 decades, Mnangagwa has been running this machine. If you go up against Mnangagwa, you should be willing to eliminate some people. That is going to happen. And the good thing is that the military is totally in support of Geza. And that is also the same for the guys in counterintelligence. Counterintelligence, very important. And I've told guys in counterintelligence, when they say put nitrogen, hydrogen into, so you can see my network getting jammed right now, and Mru's bad at it. So you can see this is a sign. You probably have someone right now, a camera outside my house, doing the necessary. Because if you're on images, everything totally fine. But once you're on network, terrible. But in any, I'm not at all worried, because as I said to you, I am not considered to be a threat, because Andimo system E. And I told you guys, I will never be in government. What I'll be focusing on is homecoming, and we're going to make a lot of billionaires. We want to make a lot of money for people in Zimbabwe. And my other focus will be on the civil servants. What we want to do is that the civil servants of Zimbabwe, working in the civil service, should become the best job in Zimbabwe. We want the most organized civil service, a civil service that has the best technology, and $1,500 minimum pay for my civil service. So we'll be lobbying for that, making sure that the electronic systems in the government of Zimbabwe work. So I hope that kind of Shandam government, you understand what I mean? Support Geza, support what's happening, support the change, support Chiwenga, make sure that the change comes. Because under Mnangagwa, nothing's ever going to change. Mnangagwa has got no plan. He doesn't know what to do. Right, let me quickly run through before my network is totally gone. Love Mama Duku was out yesterday campaigning. You can go check out his video on Twitter. Love Mama Duku went up against Chamisa and against Mnangagwa. He says Chamisa has got independence, and it makes no sense for Chamisa to campaign with independence, because tomorrow they can just change and say, we now support that person. Or they can then say the next day they support the other person, depending on who's popular. However, my problem with Love Mama Duku is that he actually has no plan. So if you ask him, what is the plan for Glenview South? He's got no plan. In Glenview South, what you need is to fix the unemployment problem, the decay of the infrastructure, and the stagnation. So if you're in Glenview South, for young people, there's nothing. There is no community center, there's no sporting center, and there's been perennial water issues in Glenview. People bath in the morning and water comes back again around 12. And you all know the situation with the home industries. No one has ever come up and created a proper workspace for people in Glenview. So Maduku, everything is saying is about other parties, but I would love to see something big taking place in Glenview. Glenview, one of the best located suburbs, very close. And what I would want to see there is a train going through Highfield, then Glenview South, going Kumbudzi Trapabalas interchange, and all the way to Chitungwiza. That is something that would push Glenview to a higher level. But they haven't done it. They won't think about it. And I believe that Chamisa has got a candidate in there, an independent. So let's see what happens, if they're going to win or not. It's almost impossible to think how elections are going to be useful. So the by-elections, are they useful or just a waste of money? So Maduku coming out, he gave a speech for approximately 50 minutes. So go check it out. And he addressed all in Shona. So no English, very interesting speech. Then we have Eddie Cross. Eddie Cross has been trending after he apologized to Mnangagwa. So Eddie Cross has given an apology to the Mnangagwa family for saying they are corrupt. However, I can confirm that the Mnangagwa family is totally corrupt. Like the most corrupt family in Zimbabwe is the Mnangagwa family. The impeachment documents, they state exactly how corrupt the Mnangagwa family is. The Mnangagwa family is involved in looting. They've stolen over 10 tons of gold from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. They are also involved in drug peddling. It's part of the petition, you can see it. And they are involved in extortion. of mines. So they're exploiting miners across the country, including in Bulawayo, where they are extorting over $1 million a month in some mines. So one mine can be losing over $1 million a month, especially the gold mines in Zimbabwe. So Eddie Cross, after he had an interview at South African television station Newsroom Africa, where he stated that the Mnangagwa family were very corrupt and taking out of Zimbabwe more than the national budget, was summoned to State House by Oxley Mnangagwa, where she went up against him and insulted him with the 4-letter words. So Oxley Mnangagwa attacking Eddie Cross with 4-letter words. And now I'm going to show you what Eddie Cross said, which angered Oxley Mnangagwa. So let me play for you quickly the video.
He has not tackled corruption. In fact, there's lots of evidence that his own family is deeply corrupt, that he has some of his children are engaged in criminal activity on a large scale. And he's not tackled that. And I think if he would tackle a few of those, I mean, the amount of money being stolen here is just enormous. It probably exceeds our national budget.
Okay, so the amount of money being stolen by Mnangagwa exceeds the national budget of Zimbabwe. So that is how corrupt the Mnangagwa government is. The Mnangagwa government is not only corrupt, but they have no plan. So they have got no long-term plan. Every morning when they wake up, in fact, every Tuesday, Kudata Gure and John Mangunja and Mtuli Ngume, their only job is to go to Mnangagwa and find out how can they steal more money. And what they've done this week is Monica Mavunga, the Minister of War Veterans, has issued an invitation to all war veterans to come and get title deeds for their land. So if you don't have a title deed, they've now made a statement to say you can now come and get title deeds. And now you have a farm. That means 45 years after independence, out of the blue, you can now get title deeds for land that you already had. People around Mnangagwa are impoverished. They are going through the worst of times. Guys in military, guys in security, in intelligence, they're living the worst lives. The person that I can show you, especially within the government, and people who walk around with Mnangagwa, is the case of Ruben Barwe. I always tell you guys here, if you see Ruben Barwe and how he's living, and every day he's with Mnangagwa, he's the presidential reporter. He travels around with Mnangagwa. The guy eats in a lunch tin. Like when they go out, the guy does not even sit on the table with these guys. He eats in a lunch tin, and you can see how he's dressed every time he goes with Mnangagwa. It's so embarrassing. And if you see the cameras, SZBC, Unochema, Unochema, because this guy, Mnangagwa, doesn't care. He does not care about anybody. And when he goes, you are going to see what is going to happen. Zimbabwe is going to become a land of milk and honey. So when Mnangagwa is gone, Zimbabwe is going to do so well. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a first world country. Within at least 10 years, Zimbabwe will be one of the best countries in the region. Then let's go to propaganda. So Mnangagwa has deployed a massive propaganda machine. You saw this week, Sonia Mbele, South African artist and director, coming to launch what is called the Real Housewives of Harare. And she said the Zimbabwean economy is growing and everything is going well in Zimbabwe. What they've also done is that they've now invited all media houses to come and get money. So if you meet the conditions, you've got a Facebook account, a Twitter account, a TikTok account, an Instagram account, a WhatsApp channel or group, you can now go to the president's office and get money. That is why you see people have been behaving in a bizarre manner, like attacking actual channels that are doing actual work. They're attacking those channels and they believe that they can get this money and do well. What can I show the guys who are going to get money from Mnangagwa? And also, Anna Sonia and everyone. Sonia just bought herself a Ferrari this week. So Sonia, this lady here, bought a Ferrari. are using that money from Zimbabwe. They're giving large amounts of money. And we also have Mnangagwa Sana Bishop Kevin Nyamakanga, who have taken money from Mnangagwa. You can see their bizarre statements. Anyone who makes bizarre statements, they've taken money from Mnangagwa. It will work for a while. But the reason why our media houses do so well is not because it's an accident. It's actually by plan. So, for example, Gambakwe, it's hard work and conviction. The good thing about being convinced about what you're doing is you don't have to try hard. Imagine trying to support Mnangagwa. It's hard. The man has got no clue. And you keep trying, but it won't work. You will see Kuti, you're against the people. And that is why everything fails. And Mnangagwa have tried so many times to do this, to set up propaganda machines. But I can assure you that in 6 months, they will stop. They never pay. There are people right now who are doing propaganda for Mnangagwa in 2018 who are still not being paid. So don't say I didn't warn you. Work with the people. That is better than working for Mnangagwa. If you take Mnangagwa's money, you have blood on your hands. Look at what has happened to Simbachi Kanza after he took Oxlade Mnangagwa's money. That became a mess. The man was doing so much work with the gold mafia. But after he took Oxlade Mnangagwa's money, it became a mess. And now he's just wandering around without a plan and talking gibberish. Gibberish. That is what happens when you take Maria Mnangagwa. Okay, let me see if I've forgotten anything else of interest. Let me go to South Africa and spend a bit of time over there. Guys, what has happened in Johannesburg is a mess. Johannesburg has become like a joke. So Johannesburg used to be one of the best countries, towns or cities. When I first came here, it was amazing. However, what has happened in Johannesburg is the infrastructure is collapsing. So when you're driving on the freeway, so like I was at Rosebank this past 2 weeks. So as I was going to the airport, I was driving out of Rosebank. And what did I see? A big pothole in the middle of the freeway. It's no longer abnormal to see potholes on the freeways of Johannesburg. Most of the time, you have other issues that are taking place. But what has happened this week is that a Malawian, an unidentified Malawian man, died after he hit a pothole. And he's a scooter driver. You know those guys who deliver goods. He hit a pothole. And this just happened when a man who was driving in front of him slowed down, passed the pothole, and he didn't see that there was that pothole. So he went into the pothole, bumped into the car that was in front, and you can see the pictures that I'm displaying here. So an identified Malawian man is actually lying in the mortuary right now, and after this pothole caused his death. And not only that, within a few hours they came and they fixed the pothole. So it's not that they don't have capacity. They do have capacity, but they're just probably sitting in their offices, drinking coffee and talking. I don't know what they're talking over there. But potholes have become a menace. If you go to Midrand, the worst potholes, you find them around Vona Valley. There are potholes that are bigger than a car at Vona Valley, right close to the Johannesburg Road Agency offices. They have massive potholes. They don't fix them. And this used to be an issue in Zimbabwe, but now it's almost like Johannesburg. After ANC went to Zimbabwe to support ZANU-PF, they are now suffering the consequences of these big potholes. When I was in Cape Town a few weeks back, and I told you about this, I can leave my house, take off my shoes, and I can walk to my nearest shopping center without being pricked on my feet. There's infrastructure in Cape Town, much more improved than Johannesburg. Johannesburg is quite a mess right now. And as with the delivery drivers, most of them are foreigners. They don't have any ID. And like what has happened now, when he dies, no one knows who this guy is. And it's a mess. Right, let's now go to some entertainment. Zozibini Tunzi has shown off her new husband for the first time. He is an engineer. So that is Lutando Boluwana. They had a wedding in Cape Town, and then they had a traditional wedding at Esidwadweni in Eastern Cape at the village. So I don't know if they are from the same village or what, or if it was the woman's village, but Sozibini having a very interesting wedding within the past few weeks. Now I want to go to Bulawayo, where the Catholic Church has set up this nice rehab center. So go check it out. It's in the press. The Catholic Center, the Catholic Church doing very well. And we saw General Chiwenga looking very good. Did you see this picture shared over here by Mini? So very, very nice pictures of General Chiwenga at the fundraiser. And I was asking myself, Mdara, you look so young. Kana mukaramba makadai ndinotonga rini inini ndozotonga rini kana mukaramba muri so young. So Mdara Chiwenga looking very good, and this is amazing. The man is totally transformed ever since he got married to Mini. So go check out Facebook page. She's got a lot of interesting pictures over there. Okay, I think I've covered most of the stories that I wanted to cover. Now let's go to the newspapers. Let's start with the Sunday Mail and see if they've published yet. When I started here, they're not published. So the Sunday Mail newspaper is very interesting. It's got a lot of stories. So the first story that they have today is that the Zimbabwe government has suspended tariffs on all American imports. So I don't think it matters. We'll probably get a few goods from America. And let me show you what has happened. So the Zimbabwean economy has collapsed, and the biggest problem is the ZiG. So what you have in Zimbabwe is the ZiG. You cannot use it outside, and that will be the first job of General Chiwenga when he gets into office, to remove the ZiG, and we have proper money inside and outside. So this is from a Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe statement. This week they've issued a market update, so you can go and check it out. I wish I had someone who can come in and talk through this market update by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. The information from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is not reliable, and I've said this in the past. Their information comes too late, it's not constant, and it's laced with propaganda. So take, for example, the inflation results of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe here. So they're showing you the year-on-year inflation in ZiG. This is totally fake, and it's lies, because the US dollar in Zimbabwe also has inflation. So how can the ZiG have low inflation when the US dollar inflation is up? So if you want to buy a can of Mazoe or a bottle of Mazoe in South Africa, it's probably going to cost you, let's say, 40 Rand. But if you go to Zimbabwe, the same bottle of Mazoe is going to cost you $5. So that is 100 Rand. It means locally products in Zimbabwe, which are made in Zimbabwe, cost more in Zimbabwe than outside the country. How is that possible? You have seen what's happening with Dairy Board. Dairy Board Zimbabwe is now making the products outside of Zimbabwe, then bringing them into Zimbabwe. The same products are cheaper outside Zimbabwe than inside Zimbabwe. So this is totally bogus. The results from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe are totally bogus. And I don't like John Mjavan. The man is fake. He doesn't know what he's doing. So the first thing will be to fire him when he comes, when the new government comes, which is very soon. Fire the man and get someone who knows what they're doing. Let's see if there's anything else of interest in there, in the Sunday Mail newspaper. So as I said, the first story is that they've suspended all tariffs on the US imports. And I don't know who makes decisions. The Zimbabwe government, I don't know how they make them, but that is the decision that they've made. They've made it a point that they do some bizarre things. And I don't know if President Trump even cares and if he's going to respond with anything. I believe that President Trump has moved on from that whole thing that he did with the tariffs, and Zimbabwe is not going to be a factor. So let me share with you on the screen what is in the Sunday Mail newspaper. My network is a bit slow, which is crazy because I was sitting here for the whole 3 hours and everything was totally fine until I started presenting here. I think what a waste of money. Mnangagwa, wasting money on jamming other people's networks. Should be using that money to give free internet in Zimbabwe. So that is the story that I was showing you here. So Zim to suspend tariffs on US goods. And then we're going to have new banknotes in the shortest possible time. So that is the new ZIG. And then the new ARV consignment to last until September. So if you're on ARVs, this is what is happening. And then there's a lot of other stories. So let me see if there's anything that I want to show you. Price stability for de-dollarization. And then there is Bright. Who is Bright? Let's see who is Bright. Bright, Zimbabwe Holdings, a Bright, we have experienced and stable team specialized in tailor-made solution to risk management and employee benefits needs. So Tina Advocate Mkushi, Sem Nyamamba, Lee Chitupa, we've got Behod Madziva, Bethod Madziva, and let me see everyone I know here. Patrick Murabadoro, Innocent Muverengwi, Alakias Guvuri, Master Zimbabwe man, and then Obet Kwacha. So those are the guys at the Bright. Go check it out in the Sunday Mail newspaper. Very interesting company, Bright. Let's see what their divisions are. So there's Bright Insurance Brokers, Bright Reinsurance, and Bright Employee Benefits. Go check them out, brightzim.com. And then let's see what else is here of interest. Mining sector ends Zimbabwe $5 billion. $5 billion is peanuts. So let me give you guys some sort of understanding. In South Africa, a company that makes $5 billion is not in the top 100 of the JSE. And the JSE is very small. So what you need to do with Zimbabwe is to increase production to 100 billion a year. Currently, our economy is not there. It's not at 100 billion. And those people who know what I'm talking about, they know it's important for us to move to a better economy to attract capital. We're currently not attracting capital in Zimbabwe. What is the World Bank doing in Zimbabwe? The World Bank has issued a public statement, World Bank Environment and Social Framework, Zimbabwe Legal and Policy Assessment Gap. So I think that they're putting a document here so that if you want to do this, you can make a submission. So that is the World Bank Group, IFC and MIGA. So check it out in the Sunday Mail newspaper. What else do we have in terms of adverts? National Prosecuting Authority has got vacancies that include the public prosecutors. And this is where else is wanted here. Records and information assistant. We've got executive assistants and what a corporate affairs assistant. So go check it out. Human resources manager. Multiple jobs coming out of the government sector here. And then you also have tenders. Installation and of a 5 megawatt solar power station at NAST and supply of delivery office furniture, bond paper, and insurance services. So Bright Van Avo, they NAST, they're looking for someone. Munurwa Marakomana, Maria Dona, NAST Apo, Maria Mahara. Sunday News, let's see what's in the Sunday News of Zimbabwe. Sunday News of Zimbabwe. So guys, I'll give you more on these newspapers as soon as I sit down and look at what is important. Council demand 4K, councillors demand 4,000 vehicle loan. This is nothing. This is nothing. Give them the money. 4,000 is nothing. So give all the councillors 4,000. Let's see what Indiana Uyu. I'm scanning you. All right. Angeline Kayo is a banking community leader. So she's got a whole statement on her here. So I don't know why she's being put over here. So go check out Angeline. Let's see what else is in the Chronicle newspaper. Chronicle illnesses, take charge of the health. So diabetes, high blood pressure, and cancer, the biggest disease in Zimbabwe. Take care of yourself. The Ingwe breweries, they're saying something. Let's see what's happening at Ingwe breweries. They're looking for franchise of beer retailing outlets. So the city of Bulawayo, Ingwe breweries wishes to franchise its outlets to the Pumula North bottle store. Applications are therefore invited from potential business people. So if you want to run a bar, go there to Pumula. The Bulawayo Council is going to be. So I'll put this advert for you guys. And then August 2025 intake for NAST. It's open. Faculty of Agriculture, Humanities, Education, and so forth. So you can go check out. NAST is amazing. It's my university. I came from NAST. Amazing stuff. And then let's look at the league. Do you see what has happened? More WOS is doing very well. They beat Kariba this weekend. And then Scotland, Team Evaroy is at number 2. Ngezi Platinum is number 3 with Manika Diamonds at the top. So all these teams played. The ones you see at the top there, they played with the Dynamos losing this weekend. So Dynamos lost, and I'm going to put for you the results. So that is Scotland versus Victor Minerals 3-0. Manika Diamonds versus Dynamos 1-0. Kwekwe United versus FC Platinum 0-0. Chicken Inn versus Irendra 0-0. Chicken Inn guys are eating too much chicken. And Simba Bora versus still 1-0. MWOS versus ZPC Kariba 1-0. And Green Fuel versus Yada 1-0. So Yada is losing very badly. As very much Yada. Terrible. And I like the fact that these teams are doing well. However, the West team, Team Evaroy, Scotland, Scotland, they killed Pastor Takumane Masaya, who was campaigning in Mavuku. So every time they play, there'll be a 12th player on the other side, on the other team. Team Evaroy, team is Scotland, Chakawara. Right, I want to think that I've covered everything in the newspapers. And let's see if there's anything else in entertainment. Let's just look here if there's anything in entertainment of interest. And I can see that Chimeza is in Portugal. So that is the story that is over there. Chimeza in Portugal. So go check out the Chronicle newspaper or the Sunday Mail newspaper over here. I'm failing to expand this story for some reason. That is Kutubet Chimeza Jr. He's over there in European football, doing very, very well and featured in the Sunday newspaper. Right, what else have I not covered? Let me quickly look and before I go. And I'll be back here. I'll be monitoring the environment and I'll be back here as soon as something happens. So I think I've covered everything. Let's see if I left something. I would just want to go to a university in South Africa. So let's look at the University of Mpumalanga. Let's see if I've got that story here with me. So, guys, you've seen what Jealous Mawarire said about Chamisa. So I want us to interrogate what Jealous Mawarire said. And I want Chamisa to sue Jealous Mawarire. So Jealous Mawarire is saying Chamisa took 20 million from ZANU PF. And this is why Chamisa is not doing anything about the situation in Zimbabwe. He's been paid that 20 million to manage the environment. So guys, I want him to be sued. Please, Chamisa, do me a favor. Sue Jealous Mawarire for lying. Jealous Mawarire is lying very badly. I just told you the transaction was between ED and Chamisa. But you don't want to hear it, do you? Then unoda receipt yemari yewori. Paunotenga mbanje dzako wakambopiwa receipt here iwe rumbi. This is crazy. Jealous Mawarire is going to be sued very badly because he says Nelson Chamisa was given $20 million so that he can manage the environment, make sure that when there is a protest, there's none, make sure that when people want to protest, he says God is in it, and whenever there's a chance, he makes sure that he stops whatever is supposed to happen. And Chamisa has came out last week and said he has never met Kudata Gure. He has never received money from him. He has never been a member of the SDA church. And he does not know why people are making these wild allegations against him. So as I said, very important for Julius Maore to substantiate his allegations. Otherwise, let him be sued until he's only left with the shirt on his back. So Julius Maore, anosarane shirt, yakapfeka chete. Anyhow, how does Julius Maore make his money? Like, where does he work exactly? Because I don't know. The last time I knew Julius Maore was a spokesperson. How does Julius Maore make his money? Exactly. That is very important because he wants to know how Chamisa makes his money. So how does he make his money? Now let's go to the University of Mpumalanga. The University of Mpumalanga is a very interesting university. It's one of the new and less well-known universities in South Africa. And the biggest problem with South African universities is governance. So the governance of South African universities is very bad. And most of them are collapsing. So the standard of South African universities is going down. It's not uncommon to see issues at South African universities. And every year there is a story about the South African university. Currently, the University of Mpumalanga has appointed a new, what can you say, principal or vice chancellor, and she is Professor Tenjiwe Meyiwa. So I tend to like her because of her background. So she's coming from UNISA, where she was the vice principal for research, postgraduate studies, innovation, and commercialization. So the biggest problem at the University of Mpumalanga has been accommodation. So students had multiple accommodation issues. And at the beginning of this year, most of them did not secure accommodation. And that was because the University of Mpumalanga had not paid the suppliers or the landlords. And I find it very difficult for students to have a hard time in universities because South Africa is quite a developed country. But I hope that she's going to do well. She's coming from an area that is very interesting. But I think most of the issues at universities are not with the academic side, but the governance side. And we've seen, if you move into the campuses, most of the campuses, you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is a subject that I know a lot about. So very soon I'll be doing something and you'll be seeing it within a short space of time. Kucha pisa. Right, I want to, and I mean kucha pisa. I want to now bring this to an end. Let me look at, if I've forgotten anything else, let's look at the comments. Why is Chamisa quiet? We supported him all the way out, but he damned us. Why? I think Maore might be saying something right. I know Julius Maore. Julius Maore has been in the political space for a very long time. Is Julius Maore an agent? That is the question. Is he an agent of Mugabe? Because we must be certain. I know he worked with Mime Juru. In fact, I did some work with Julius Maore myself. But is he an agent of Mugabe? Because now if he's attacking Chamisa, he's attacking a lot of people who voted for Chamisa. So come out with a proper thing and say, Chamisa akapewa mari ne uyu on such and such a date. And this was the amount. And Chamisa must answer. Because right now Chamisa has got nothing to answer. They're jamming the networks, but can't jam our minds. We are not fools. Yes, I agree, Loisa. They are not going to be jamming you. But let me tell you what the problem is. If we miss the chance with Geza, we are not going to get another person like him. Guys, this opportunity that we have has never been had in Zimbabwe. Mudara Uyu, akasimba, and he is very brave. Kana Mudara Geza wakatadza apa, ampa buda omana, it will be 40 years, kana 50 years, before Madzinga vanhu ava. So support Mudara Geza, support General Chiwenga, make sure kuti vanhu ava they live. So don't let Mnangagwa get rid of the army get rid of police, get rid of everyone. Zurita Mnangagwa has never been done anyway. What Mnangagwa is doing is totally unprecedented. To fire the whole military brass and to try to go after war veterans, like with the mercenaries, it has never been done anyway. So let's not allow Mnangagwa to succeed. This has never been done anyway. But Mudara Geza and the war veterans, they must succeed. Our country can only succeed if these guys succeed. Saka, imimi wanoneshandra government, people work in the government, civil service. You must know, if Mnangagwa doesn't leave, you will never get paid 1,500. 300 ichocho. Most of the people in government, I've been to the houses. It's embarrassing. Munhu mukuru anorara tuma blanket tokachembera tokudaradara. Anobika nestove yeprama stove. Munhu asina solar pamba pake. It's embarrassing. Your children are going to terrible schools. Vanhu government. And guys in the army, what are we going to do for you? We want to build a military planned city and an engineering corps, a navy. We've been talking about this for you guys, Vanuku Army. So working in the army should be one of the best jobs. At the moment, kushanda mu army, unopiwa mbanje chete. Ndozo unopiwa mbanje, nituma periods tokaora. Guys, Ghana's asina mari mbank. Isusu when we were young, kushanda mu army used to go to Yugoslavia, used to go to what those countries are China to train. Because really, you are lucky if you are deployed outside Harare. Army chakaora ichi. Guys, we want to fix this army. Eat army chayo. Not is much jokes. Mnangagwa is embarrassed the whole country. And this is why Mudara Geza is coming out. He's trying to fix the conditions in the civil service, in the public service, and make our country a first world country. It's not difficult to fix Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is one of the easiest countries to fix. So let's do it. And also the guys in counterintelligence, I told you, Guti, counterintelligence will be the most paid people. Saka zvikanzi enda unotsvaga Gambakwe, unoti hatina kumuona. Musaite basa richimudhara icho. Regaite ega netuma mercenary kwake. Nana Bishop Kevin Nyamakanga vakapuwa tuma chicken. Unotengesa for a chicken. Suma chicken 10. Mnangagwa will never give you more than $10. I can assure you. Vanhu vese vari kuita zvintelligence vaMnangagwa, they know what I'm talking about. Haubhadharwi. Mudhara uyu hana mari. Ane mari yekupa chete achisa mupocket make. Not kupa iwewe. No one anoshandira Mnangagwa will ever get paid. The guys are struggling very badly. So dump this man and support Mudara Geza. Leave him. Leave Mnangagwa akadhakwa. And ane dementia. Dementia. Right, I think I've covered it all. Let's see if there's more comments of interest. Why Sumari? He is sold and is self-evident. No, Mkomaglot. I love Chamisa. Homeboy wangu. Atengesi. Teacher. Nekamota kako. Thank you very much, Mkoma Sabelo. I love it. Next week is Twitcher. We're going to be going after Mnangagwa. The people that are arrested, we want them out. Please, guys, when we call and we say Gatipindem Street, Vanu 95 wakasungwa, all the arrested 95 people, we want them out. So we're going to talk to the guys, Varim M31, and we want those people out who've been arrested. Mnangagwa is arresting the wrong people. Right, now I want to end with our sponsor, Mve. So this is our packet of Mve. Amazing. The most beautiful packet of Mve, 200 grams. That's our sponsor. If you're in the UK, you buy one, you get one free. And if you're in South Africa, you can pick up at Midrand Borders, Cape Town, and you can get it by Postnet or across South Africa. And then if you're in Harare, you can pick up immediately. And Bulawayo, you can pick up immediately. And also across Zimbabwe, by courier, you can get it in any city. That is all the major centers. Saka usaendele pepe rako ku Vic Falls. Oswera uchitamba nefoni. Unotongwa nemasalad kukazvirega. Right, I think I've covered it all. I'll be back here as soon as something comes up. I believe that there's something big that is going to happen, especially a move against Chiwenga. I expect a move against Chiwenga very, very soon. Within the next few days, if not today, I expect Mnangagwa to move on Chiwenga ahead of the impeachment. So let's see what is the move that Mnangagwa has in plan for Chiwenga. But I know Kuti, Mudara uyu akasimba. So Chiwenga akasimba, very stable, very steady, under pressure. Chiwenga, let's see what he's going to do. Because Mnangagwa anoda Chema Tsenga Nzungu. Chema Tsenga Nzungu. If you want Mnangagwa kutape, Chema Tsenga Nzungu. That is what you need to give him. And Opa Monica Mavunga, Chema Tsenga Nzungu. Chema Tsenga Nzungu, because she is destroying the war veterans with the antics. Wakadakwa. Monica Mavunga must be supporting the war vets, but she's busy kutaura sunabasa. Yesterday she was asked, how about the benefits of the war veterans? How about the payments for war victims and their compensation? And she was dilly-dallying about going to Minister of Finance. And she was walking around Douglas, other than my ear. Murume uyu, as war vet, my ear. I don't see prove. I don't know what that is prove. Uyu, my ear. Very dumb. Kuti vamwe ma war veteran arita zvine musoro. Iye busy. Tucha. Net to $5. Tucha neka ball. Who cares about the war? We want to create a first world country. Mahia, passing away. That is what I want to say to Mahia. Passing away. Monica Mavunga, passing away. Pasi and ne mapere ako. Passing mazizi ako. Right, I think I've enjoyed myself quite a bit. And we should bring this to an end. It's been over an hour. I have talked way more than Makandiwa. So please go and watch. Makandiwa is going to be live today. Maybe something is going to go boom over there. Thank you very much for watching. And a good day to you all.